There are moments in life when everything feels uncertain. You've prayed, you've waited, you've tried, and still the door in front of you remains closed. In those moments, worry begins to whisper. It tells you that you've been forgotten, that you've missed your chance, that somehow you are standing in the wrong place at the wrong time. But what you must understand is this: worry is not a guide, it is a distraction. It pulls your focus away from the truth that God already knows exactly which door belongs to you. You may be standing in a hallway filled with doors, each one representing an opportunity, a relationship, a future. Some doors look appealing, some seem promising, and others seem completely out of reach. And as you stand there, you begin to feel pressure to choose quickly, pressure to not miss out, pressure to make something happen. But God does not operate under pressure, and neither should you when your trust is in Him. The truth is, what is meant for you cannot be taken from you, and what is not meant for you, no amount of striving will make it right. Sometimes we exhaust ourselves trying to force open doors that were never designed for our lives. We push, we plan, we worry, and we lose our peace in the process. But peace is one of the clearest signs that you are aligned with God's will. When you are walking in His direction, even uncertainty carries a quiet confidence. Worry often comes from the illusion that everything depends on you. It convinces you that if you don't figure it all out right now, things will fall apart. But you were never meant to carry that burden. God's plan for your life is not fragile. It does not depend on perfect timing from you, perfect decisions from you, or perfect understanding from you. It depends on His wisdom, His timing, and His faithfulness. Think about how many times a closed door has actually protected you. At the time, it may have felt like rejection or failure. You may have questioned why things didn't work out the way you hoped. But later, with clarity, you saw that it was not a loss. It was guidance. It was protection. It was redirection. God was not withholding something good from you. He was keeping you from something that wasn't right for you. When you begin to understand this, worry starts to lose its grip, because you realize that every no has purpose, every delay has meaning, and every closed door is part of a greater direction. You don't have to chase what God has already decided to give you. Your role is not to force outcomes. It is to remain faithful, patient, and open. There is a difference between waiting and worrying. Waiting is active trust. It is choosing to believe even when you cannot see. Worrying, on the other hand, is restless doubt. It keeps you moving in circles, draining your energy and clouding your judgment. Waiting allows you to grow. It strengthens your character, deepens your faith, and prepares you for what is ahead. Worrying does the opposite. It weakens your spirit and distracts you from what truly matters. Sometimes the door you are meant to walk through requires preparation. And that preparation happens in seasons that feel slow and uncertain. You may feel like nothing is happening, but beneath the surface, God is shaping you. He is aligning circumstances. He is removing obstacles you cannot see. And at the right moment, the door will open, not because you forced it, but because it was time. You must also understand that not every open door is from God. Some doors open easily, but they lead to confusion, compromise, or regret. That is why discernment is so important. Just because something is available does not mean it is right for you. The door that is meant for you will not only open, it will align with God's truth, bring peace to your heart, and guide you toward purpose. When you trust that God knows which door is yours, you are freed from comparison. You stop looking at other people's paths and wondering why their doors seem to open faster or easier. Your journey is unique. Your timing is specific. What God is doing in your life cannot be measured against someone else's experience. Comparison only fuels worry, but trust restores peace. There will be times when you feel like giving up, times when the waiting feels too long and the silence feels too heavy. In those moments, remind yourself that God is not absent. He is working. Just because you cannot see movement does not mean there is no progress. Some of the most important work happens in unseen places. Let your focus shift from the doors to the one who controls them. When your attention is on God, your perspective changes. You begin to see that your life is not a random series of events, but a carefully guided journey. Every step, every delay, every redirection has meaning. Worry fades when trust grows, and trust grows when you remember who God is, faithful, wise, and always on time. He is not guessing about your future. He is not uncertain about your path. He knows exactly which door is yours, and when the time is right, nothing will be able to keep it closed. So instead of worrying about what might happen, choose to rest in what you know. God is in control. He sees what you cannot see. He knows what you do not know. And He is leading you towards something that fits your life perfectly. Even now, as you wait, as you wonder, as you stand in that hallway of uncertainty, He is guiding you. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are not standing still without purpose. You are being positioned for the right door at the right time. And when that door opens, you will not have to question it, force it, or fear it, because deep within your heart, there will be a quiet assurance that this is the one meant for you. Worry often begins when you feel responsible for figuring everything out on your own. You look ahead at your life and see uncertainty, unanswered questions, and possibilities that feel overwhelming. In those moments, your mind tries to take control, trying to predict outcomes, trying to secure the future before it even arrives. But the more you try to control what hasn't happened yet, the more restless and anxious you become. That is because worry is rooted in the belief that everything depends on you, while peace is rooted in the understanding that God is already in control. When you trust God's timing, you begin to release the pressure of needing immediate answers. You no longer feel the urgency to force decisions or rush into situations just to escape uncertainty. Instead, you develop a quiet confidence that what is meant for you will come at the right moment. This kind of trust does not mean you stop taking action or become passive. It means that your actions are guided by faith rather than fear. You move forward with wisdom, but without panic. You make decisions, but without desperation. There is a natural tendency to compare your timeline with others. You see people around you achieving milestones, stepping into opportunities, and moving forward in ways that you desire for yourself. This comparison often fuels worry, making you feel as though you are falling behind or missing out. But trusting God's timing requires you to understand that your journey is uniquely designed. What happens in someone else's life at a certain moment is not the standard for your life. God's plan for you is not delayed, it is precise. Every step is intentional, even when it feels slow. Delays are often the hardest part to accept. When you pray for something and do not see immediate results, it can create doubt. You begin to question whether you have done something wrong, whether you have missed an opportunity, or whether what you are hoping for will ever happen. But delay does not mean denial. Many times what feels like a delay is actually preparation. There are things within you that need to grow, lessons that need to be learned, and circumstances that need to align before the right door can open. If everything happened exactly when you wanted it to, you might step into situations you are not ready for. You might receive opportunities that you are not prepared to handle. God's timing takes into account not only what you desire, but also what is best for you. It considers your readiness, your strength, and your ability to sustain what you are asking for. Trusting His timing means believing that He sees the full picture while you only see a small part. Worry also distorts your perspective. It causes you to focus on what could go wrong instead of what could go right. It fills your mind with fear about outcomes that have not even happened. When you are caught in worry, you begin to make decisions based on anxiety rather than clarity. You might rush into the wrong opportunities, hold on to things that are not meant for you, or miss the peace that comes from simply trusting the process. But when you choose to trust God's timing, your perspective begins to shift. You start to see waiting as a season of growth rather than a period of loss. Trust is not built in a single moment. It is developed over time, often through experiences where you had no choice but to rely on God. Think about the times in your life when things did not go according to your plan, yet somehow everything worked out in a way that was better than you expected. Those moments are reminders that you are not navigant. In life alone, they are evidence that God's timing has always been at work, even when you did not recognize it. Learning to trust also means letting go of the need to understand everything. There will be times when things simply do not make sense. You may not understand why a door closed, why an opportunity slipped away, or why you are still waiting while others are moving forward, but trust does not require full understanding. It requires faith in God's character, believing that He is good, that He is faithful, and that He is working for your benefit even when you cannot see it. As you grow in this kind of trust, your inner state begins to change. The constant tension of trying to control everything starts to fade. You become more patient, more grounded, and more at peace with where you are. You stop rushing through life trying to make things happen on your own timeline, and instead begin to walk steadily, knowing that each step is leading you exactly where you need to be. Even in moments of uncertainty, there is a sense of calm that comes from knowing that your future is not in your hands alone. You can make plans, set goals, and take steps forward, but ultimately, it is God who directs your path. And when you truly believe that, worry loses its power. It no longer dominates your thoughts or controls your decisions. Trusting God's timing does not eliminate challenges, but it changes how you respond to them. Instead of reacting with fear, you respond with faith. Instead of feeling lost, you feel guided. Instead of being overwhelmed by the unknown, you find comfort in the certainty that God already knows what lies ahead and is leading you there step by step. One of the most difficult experiences in life is facing a closed door, especially when you had hoped with all your heart that it would open. You may have invested your time, your energy, your prayers, and your prayers, and expectations into that one opportunity. When it doesn't work out, it can feel deeply personal, as if you have been rejected or overlooked. But what you must begin to understand is that not every closed door is a loss. Many times it is protection in disguise. It is natural to associate open doors with success and closed doors with failure. You see an opportunity come your way and you believe that if it works out, it will lead to happiness, progress, or fulfillment. But life is not always that simple. There are paths that seem right at the beginning, but lead to confusion, frustration, or regret later on. There are opportunities that look perfect on the surface, but carry consequences you cannot yet see. When a door closes, it may actually be preventing you from stepping into something that would have harmed you in ways you don't yet understand. In the moment, it can be painful. You might replay everything in your mind, wondering what you could have done differently. You might question your abilities, your worth, or even your direction in life. That is where the misunderstanding begins. A closed door is not a statement about your value. It is not proof that you are not good enough. It is simply a redirection, a way of guiding you towards something that aligns better with your purpose. There are times when you become so focused on a specific outcome that you cannot imagine anything better. You convince yourself that this one opportunity is the answer to everything you have been hoping for. So when it slips away, it feels like everything is falling apart. But often, what feels like everything falling apart is actually everything falling into place, just not in the way you expected. Think about how limited your perspective is compared to God's. You can only see what is in front of you, what you feel, and what you desire at this moment. But God sees beyond that. He sees He long-term impact of every decision, every relationship, every opportunity. He knows what will strengthen you and what will drain you. He knows what will bring peace into your life and what will create unnecessary struggle. When a door closes, it is often because He sees something you cannot see. Sometimes the closed door is protecting you from the wrong people. A relationship that did not work out may have seemed perfect at first, but over time, it could have led to conflict, pain, or compromise. At the moment of separation, it feels like loss, But in reality, it is protection from a future that would not have been healthy for you. Other times, it may be a job or opportunity that you desperately wanted, but if you had stepped into it, it might have taken you away from your true purpose or placed you in an environment that would limit your growth. It is also important to recognize that not all doors that open are meant for you. Some opportunities appear easily, almost effortlessly, and that can be misleading. Just because something is accessible does not mean it is right. Without discernment, you might walk through a door simply because it is open, only to realize later that it leads to confusion or dissatisfaction. Closed doors, in that sense, are a form of guidance. They help narrow your path, keeping you aligned with what truly matters. When you begin to shift your perspective, you start to see closed doors differently. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" you begin to ask, "What is this protecting me from?" That question changes everything. It moves you from a mindset of loss to a mindset of trust. It allows you to believe that even in disappointment, there is a purpose. Time often reveals what you cannot understand in the moment. There will come a day when you look back at a closed door and feel grateful that it did not open. You will see how that empty moment of rejection redirected you to something better, something more aligned, something that brought greater peace into your life. What once felt like a setback will become a turning point. Letting go is not easy when you have your heart set on something. Releasing it requires strength and faith. It requires you to believe that what lies ahead is better than what you are leaving behind. It requires you to trust that God is not taking something away from you without having something greater in store. That kind of trust does not come naturally. It is something you develop over time through experience and reflection. You may not always understand why a door closes, and that is okay. Understanding is not always immediate. Sometimes the only thing you can do is accept and move forward. Holding on to what did not work out will only keep you stuck, preventing you from seeing new opportunities that are meant for you. When you release what is no longer part of your path, you create space for what is. Closed doors also build resilience within you. They teach you how to handle disappointment, how to adapt and how to adapt, and how to keep moving forward even when things do not go as planned. They strengthen your character and deepen your faith. Without those experiences, you might not develop the strength needed for the doors that will eventually open. There is a quiet reassurance in knowing that you are being guided. Even when things do not go your way, you are not being denied, you are being denied. You are being denied, you are being directed. Every closed door is shaping your journey, refining your path, and bringing you closer to what is truly meant for you are. And while it may not feel like it in the moment, each one carries a purpose that is working in your favor. Even if it takes time for you to fully see it, there is a powerful truth that brings deep peace when you truly embrace it. What is meant for you will not require you to chase it endlessly, force it open, or lose yourself trying to hold on to it. The right door in your life will open in a way that aligns with clarity, peace, and purpose. It will not be surrounded by constant confusion, anxiety, or inner conflict. Instead, even if it comes with challenges, there will be a sense that it fits like something falling into place rather than something being forced into position. Many people spend a large part of their lives running after opportunities, believing that if they just try harder, push more, or refuse to give up, they can make any door open. While effort and persistence are important, there is a difference between working with purpose and striving out of fear. When you are chasing something that is not meant for you, the journey often feels heavy. There is constant resistance, uncertainty, and a lack of peace that lingers beneath the surface. You may achieve temporary progress, but deep down, something never feels settled. The right door does not mean an easy path, but it does mean a clear one. Even when there are obstacles, there is a sense of direction. You are not constantly questioning whether you are in the right place. There is an inner assurance that you are moving forward as you should. This kind of peace does not come from perfect circumstances. It comes from alignment with God's will. When you are aligned, your decisions are not driven by desperation or fear, but by trust and confidence. One of the clearest signs that you are trying to force the wrong door is the loss of peace. You may find yourself overthinking every detail, second-guessing every step, and feeling emotionally drained. You might be holding on to something simply because you have invested so much into it, not because it is truly right for you. That kind of attachment can blind you to reality. It can make you believe that you have to keep pushing even when every sign is telling you to let go. In contrast, when the right door begins to open, things start to align in a way that you could not have orchestrated on your own. Opportunities connect naturally. The timing begins to make sense. You encounter the right people at the right moments. There is a flow to the process that feels guided rather than forced. It does not mean everything is perfect, but there is a sense that you are not fighting against everything around you. Patience plays a crucial role in this. Often, the right door takes time to open because there are many elements being arranged behind the scenes. If you rush ahead of that timing, you may find yourself stepping into something incomplete or unstable. But when you wait with trust, you allow everything to come together as it should. You allow yourself to be prepared, and you allow the situation to be ready for you. It is also important to understand that the right door will align with your values and your purpose. It will not require you to compromise who you are or go against what you believe in. If something demands that you sacrifice your integrity or ignore your inner convictions, it is a strong indication that it is not the door meant for you. What is truly yours will not pull you away from the person you are meant to become. It will help shape you into that person. Letting go of the need to control every outcome is essential in this process. When you try to control everything, you limit what God can do in your life. You close yourself off to possibilities that may be far greater than what you are currently pursuing. Trusting that the right door will open allows you to release that control. It allows you to remain open, flexible, and receptive to guidance. There's also a sense of confidence that grows within you. When you stop chasing and start trusting, you no longer feel the need to prove yourself through constant effort. You understand that your worth is not determined by how hard you can push your way into opportunities. Instead, you begin to see that your life is being guided toward what is truly meant for you. This confidence is quiet but strong. It does not demand attention, but it carries assurance. Sometimes the right door appears when you least expect it. It may come after a period of waiting, disappointment, or even loss. In those moments, it can feel surprising, almost as if everything changed suddenly. But in reality, it was being prepared all along. Every experience you went through, every closed door you faced, and every moment of waiting was leading you to that point. When you finally step into what is meant for you, there is a deep sense of rightness. It does not feel forced or uncertain. Even if there are challenges ahead, you feel equipped to face them. You are not overwhelmed by doubt because you know you are where you are supposed to be. That assurance becomes your strength, allowing you to move forward with confidence and peace. This is why it is so important to release the habit of chasing everything that looks promising. Not every opportunity deserves your energy. Not every open door deserves your attention. When you trust that the right door will open, you become more discerning. You learn to wait for alignment rather than reacting to pressure. You choose peace over urgency and trust over fear. In the end, the right door does not need to be forced open because it was never meant to resist you. It opens at the right time in the right way and leads you exactly where you are meant to go. When you step back and look at your journey, you begin to realize that every moment of worry, every closed door, and every season of waiting was never random. It was all part of a greater plan, one that was carefully designed with wisdom far beyond your own understanding. The pressure you once felt to figure everything out begins to fade, replaced by a deep sense of trust that you are not navigating life alone. God has always been ahead of you, preparing the way, aligning the right opportunities, and shielding you from what was never meant for you. You start to see that worry was never adding anything to your life. It was only taking away your peace. It made you doubt what was already secure and fear what was already under control. But the moment you shift from worry to trust, everything changes. You no longer feel the need to rush, compare, or force outcomes. Instead, you walk with confidence, knowing that what is meant for you will find its way to you at the right time. Closed doors no longer feel like defeat, but direction. Waiting no longer feels like punishment, but preparation. And the future no longer feels uncertain, but guided. You begin to live with a calm assurance that no matter where you are right now, you are exactly where you need to be for this moment in your life. There is peace in that understanding, a peace that does not depend on circumstances, but on trust. So release the worry that has been weighing on your heart. Let go of the need to control every outcome. Trust that God sees what you cannot see and knows what you do not know. The door that is meant for you will open. No force, no confusion, no fear, just clarity, peace, and perfect timing. And when it does, you will realize that God knew all along exactly which door was yours, and He opened it at the moment you were ready to walk through it.